Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We have a
Kayla, Jeanette, Jason, Teresa. Good morning, Norma.
Good morning. Good morning. As you guys can see, we have a very special guest this morning who decided that he wanted to join us.
Frankenstein.
So, Boogie, I know that you had something that you wanted to share with everybody.
Wow, Boogie, what is it?
So, you've been telling us a lot lately about all the things that you know. Tell us about it. What do you know about?
I know about ball.
Mm-hmm.
I know about eating. I know about playing. And I know about sleeping, and I know about caca.
And most importantly,
Momos.
loving mamas. He's totally sleeping on me right now. It's amazing. Oh, he's like, no, I'm awake, bitch. So,
Most importantly, I know how to eat.
you know how to eat. So, you guys, how many of you have this one person in your life who always gives you this advice, do this, do that, who knows everything about nutrition, but meanwhile still looks like they need help, like a lot of help? Raise your hand. I want to know who has that person in their life. At least one person in their life. So today we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, and this is not to call out anybody, by the way. It's to give you an insight about why this happens and what should you do when you are in association with a person like that, so that you will always have the tools to operate in a way that will help you to move a step forward.
I see some hands. I see hands going
Okay,
up.
I want to see who had their hands.
Jeanette, Lauren, Judy, Nikki, Lori.
Right? So, you guys, this is something that, I mean, shit, I have to be honest with you guys. My mom still nowadays gives me nutrition advice. I'm like, Mom, come on. I'm like, I'm the one who needs to be giving it to you. However, it's also those same people who are extremely ignorant. They will give advice to everybody, but they will never take advice. Do you notice that as well?
There's fine lines too, and there's like, to different degrees, but actually when we wrote this topic, in my mind, what I was thinking is the topic of, we know what to do, but why can't we do it? But I think it goes along with the same thing, right? It's
Yep.
like, yeah, we can always know what to do. Why is it that most of America is still...
America, it's now the whole world.
The world, but, America is bad, right? Like I would say 90% of all women are always trying to lose weight or change their body composition in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Like always.
Mm-hmm.
And why, if we're always, haven't we achieved yet? Or why is the same percentage of people who are trying to lose weight still trying to lose weight?
I
Yes.
have something to say, Mama.
Yes, Boogie, you go.
I always get advice from my friend Zoe, but I tell her, Zoe, I can't listen to you because there is a difference between an opinion and the truth. And though what you're telling me might sound like the truth to you, it is an opinion. So, Mama, a lot of times I walk away from Zoe and I I follow what mamas tell me instead. So I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
They can't even see him. It's so freaking cute.
I had something to say.
He's like, oh, you caught me.
I think you guys know by now that Boogie's like the cutest man in a puppy form. So you guys,
Boogie's killing it.
we live in the information era. Okay? Information is everywhere. Information is very skewed due to different opinions. So everything that you hear, even right now, right? There's three sides to it. There is a story, the opinion, and the truth, right?
Facts.
And it's up to you to determine, is the story that I'm being told right now the truth? So a lot of people, for one, there's a lot that goes into this. So that's just about fact finding. For one, there's a lot of people who may know information. However, not all information is trusted information, right? And that's why we believe that it is our obligation to show up for you 5 days a week, because we know that otherwise you'll be consuming information from elsewhere telling you that you need to do keto, telling you that you shouldn't eat until 2 and that you should stop eating at 7 p.m., right?
I had a conversation with somebody yesterday when she's like, man, it's so confusing. One day almond milk is God, and then the next day almond milk is the devil. And I don't even know what to believe or who to listen to. And you know what? The truth is that that's never going to go away. But you have to learn the code so you can decipher the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. But the only way for you to learn the code is to also be very particular with who you are going to be consuming the information from. So now, this is just like fact finding, right? Would you get advice, weight loss advice, from somebody who's overweight? I wouldn't.
From the outside, no. But you know who comes to mind is Kayla. Here's the thing.
It depends on where you're at, I guess.
Right. So everybody has their own story, and you can see, you know, we're all on the surface judgmental, whether it's in a positive light or a negative light, right?
Thank you, Bobby.
Judgment is not a negative thing. Like, if you know, it's an assessment. It's an initial assessment of somebody based off of what you see. Mm-hmm. That's a judgment, and it can be good or bad.
Sure.
Right? And then good or bad is also determined just by you and the way you see things. So you could see, you know I've caught myself doing this, and I'll admit to being human, and I've seen people on the beach, you know, like women in bikinis, and man, I'm embarrassed to even say this, but I'm going to say it because what follows is, I think, more admirable. So, you know, I've seen before, you know, women in bikini and been like, you know, the thought went, man, this is so embarrassing. The thought went through my head that, man, she shouldn't be wearing that. And that is so rude to think, because I don't know her journey. Should she be wearing that? That's completely 100% up to her. It is not for me to decide what makes you feel the best. It is not for me to make up the story that you have lived when I know nothing about you. And so I go back to then, like, initially, the people that we are inclined to listen to and take advice from are the people who look like they are in a position that we aspire to be in.
Yes.
Right? So that even goes with, I've known personal trainers, like guys who have shredded bodies. They are shitty personal trainers. Absolutely shitty personal trainers. But because they look the part, people will go to them. So it goes both ways.
And that's the importance of you needing to assess who it is that you're going to pay attention to. And this is something that we've really seen in the fitness industry a lot, right? Like all those big names, because they were either like you know, they got like into like the Hollywood scene or whatever. But just because you might look the part doesn't mean that you know everything. And just because you know everything, if you don't look the part, then, you know, there is still a missing gap. And that's why, you know, before you consume any form of information with regards to anything, you have to ask yourself, like, you need to do your research, right? Like,
Homework.
right, like, why should I listen to this person? What have they achieved for themselves in order for them to gain this form of credibility, right? Do they just have a piece of paper to back them up? Most people do just have a piece of paper. They don't look the part. So, you know, if they can follow through with their own advice, is it a trusted advice? I believe not, right? And that's why, like, for example, like, our mentors are incredibly successful people because they walk the walk and they talk the talk. And, you know, back to the story with Kayla. Kayla has been, you know, doing amazing. She's already lost over 100 pounds. However,
Like even Emily here, congratulations on your 80-pound loss.
yeah, it's amazing. However, I want to pay attention to who has already reached what I will call my full potential. So this might sound harsh for a second, and know that this is with all love and respect. The reason why, let's say, if I was seeking weight loss help or advice, I will go to somebody who looks like they not only they climbed the mountain, but they got to the top. Because they've been through it all, right? So yes, like, Kayla has done amazing things, and amazing shout out to you, but Kayla still has a long way to go. And look, the thing is, we all still have a long way to go. But you need to not only achieve success, but to also achieve sustainable success. Keep it through long periods of time, because long periods of time means that you have overcome some shit. Right? How many people do you know in your life who have lost 50 pounds and then gained it back? All it took was one thing. Because it's not losing the weight that's hard. It's the mental game that carries the long haul. And by the way, because we're speaking about Kayla, with the way that you've shown up, I know that you will get there.
Jason made a really good comment.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on it because it's true, but it's not specific to what we're talking about. Where, you know, somebody could be good at teaching something that they're not good at themselves, or don't have the, I don't know. He's talking about, you know, NFL or basketball or any professional sports team. The coach may be able to lead the team to victory, but not be able to play on the team. Yeah, absolutely true. But they also are not a professional coach because they don't have a proven track record of success. You don't get to be an NFL head coach or an NBA head coach without a proven long-term successful track record in something prior to being a professional coach.
Amen.
Right? So if you were to call us the NFL coaches of weight loss, we have proven track record of long-term success. Not just for ourselves, but for also our team, also for the people that we coach, right? So that's where you have to do your due diligence though, right? That's where you do your research. And it's awesome that you're here and you're absorbing this, because you can decide for yourself whether or not we're full of shit.
Yep.
And you can be like, no, I don't want to follow them.
Great.
I don't believe what they say. I don't think it's right. I don't, whatever. And that's fine. Not everybody likes the same cup of tea, baby. But at the same time, if you have to give an opportunity, right? So initially what you see is on the outside. Now, if on the outside, what is perceived is not as something that can help me to be successful in the way I want to be successful, whatever it is, financially, relationship, body composition, whatever. The first thing is on the outside, you have to look like you can get me to where I want to be. And normally that's in a mirrored version of who you aspire to be.
So back to like an NFL coach, right? Like their value increases the more Super Bowls they help teams win, because that's a part of their track record.
But it's even before that. This is
Right.
like from in our industry specific, the visual
Oh,
matters.
sure.
The visual matters. And now
Right.
you could have lost 100 pounds, you could have lost 80 pounds, you could have lost 50 pounds, and actually you're in a very empowered position within yourself, which is really truly the only thing that we could ever ask. However, when it comes to somebody else wanting help, the first people that they're going to go to is somebody who looks like they want to look, or looks like they live the life that they want to live, right? Now, that's just step one. Step two is researching that person. What is their track record? You know, who have they helped? You know, the way you go to a website and you see, oh, as seen on Forbes magazine, Success magazine, Entrepreneur, you're like, oh, this person must be doing something right with business and finance and money and whatever, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be on the cover of a magazine.
Or if it's with weight loss, like how long have they been able to maintain it? Or do they look shredded for 2 months out of the year, but then
Yep.
they look soft for the
Yep.
other 10? Like, would you
Yep.
really want advice from that? I mean, obviously, they're struggling with sustainability. So what does that mean about your journey, right? So remember, who you surround yourself, you become.
This topic totally turned into how to find somebody good to listen to.
But here, so let's diverge into it, because it's in complete alignment. So, you know, there's a lot of information out there. It is the information era. Information is not going to go away. The most successful people are going to be the ones who chose wisely who it is that they're going to listen to. Because guess what? If you choose to listen closely to somebody who is not telling the full truth, and they're not bad people, it's just that to them it is the truth. They just don't know any better, because you don't know what you don't know. You could be spending months and years wasting your time not listening to the full truth, right? And that's why doing research beforehand is super, super important, because this is about you investing your time and energy wisely. Because let's say in the case of weight loss, how many times do you want to start over again? Or do you want to go like one straight shot? Or do you want to like always like hit bumps on the road and then like do research, find another person, right? So it's really important that you take the time to pay attention closely to whoever you believe is speaking the truth, right? That is like the best time investment that you can ever make. And now, if you're surrounded by, you know, a lot of people who are giving or spitting out information, which could be the truth, but could be partial truth, or could be missing some elements to it, then just be aware that there could be a detrimental result to that. And we see that happen in the nutrition and weight loss industry so much, right? Like people just spewing out science. But meanwhile, if they haven't been able to maintain a certain result for a certain amount of time, then what does it say about other areas of their life? You could know everything, but if your mindset is not right, it doesn't matter how much you know. If you can't keep it, guess what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's, you know, this is a lot about like the coach or the mentor or the leader or the whoever that you choose to follow. But there's also, you know, I know what to do, but I can't apply.
Right. And that's the concept of mindset.
Right. But, you know, it's for the receiver and for the giver.
Yeah.
Right? For the giver who knows but can't apply, then it, you know, internally, I was actually one of those people where I struggled to apply as a personal trainer, but I was giving. I was in a different position than a lot of the people I was teaching, so they still saw me as, you know, the step to where they wanted to get to. But in my own mind, doesn't matter if you want to lose 10 pounds or 50 pounds, the feeling is the same. The thought, the emotional and mental journey is similar when you're struggling, right? They're just different numbers. And so, you know, when we try to do what we know, like if we're being honest, we all know that lean protein, veggies, and, you know, healthy carbohydrates and whatever, and hydration and, you know, movement and good sleep and all these things are good for us. But why is it that we have such a hard time actually following through and doing it? It's for one, what's inside your head? Like, what do you believe about you and your ability to follow through? What are your surroundings? Who are you around all the time? What information are you hearing? What are you consuming? Not just nutritionally, but mentally and emotionally. Like, what are you consuming? What are you listening to? Who are you hanging out with? What are those people's lifestyles with? Like, the people that you hang out with. What do they do? I guarantee you, if all of them struggle with weight loss, you're going to continue to struggle with weight loss. You've got to put yourself in a different community. You become who you surround yourself with, right? Or you are the company that you keep. There's like 19
and
different
I
ways
want
to
to
say
give
this.
a great example and a shout out, and that's why Kayla is so successful, is because she's going out of her way to insert herself in communities that help her to level up. Because her physical community is like, I mean, we've had a conversation, like, it's just in shambles, right? So like, your environment shapes you. It shapes the way you see things and the way you feel them. And that shapes how you act each and every day.
It's also to consuming negative news. Consuming negative news puts you in a negative mindset, which makes you think negative about every situation. So it's, you know, it's not just nutritionally what you consume. It's, you know, what do you watch on Facebook? What do you watch on Instagram? Are these things helping you? Right? Are you watching the cooking show all the time where they're making brownies and shit? Or are you watching, like, are you listening to Oprah Winfrey podcast that's inspiring? Right? Like, what are the things that are going into you from every angle? I would start auditing that, because that is your environment. That makes up your environment. Your physical place where you live, where you work, what's in your car. You got snacks in the door? Are they ho-hos and ding-dongs? Or are they...
When I was onboarding Veronica, and she's from Canada, she was telling me about one of her like weaknesses is this thing called Fudgio.
Fudgio?
She's like, it's a fudgy Oreo.
Oh my gosh. Sounds delightful.
Yeah.
You know, but what things are around you? Because that is going to shape what your external thing, your unit, ends up becoming.
I want to ask you guys a question real quick and answer yes or no. Do you believe that your weight loss journey will be simpler and more sustainable if you were to live in our home? If you were to come live with us for 1 year, do you think that this will make your weight loss journey simpler? Yes or no?
Even if we were not coaching you specifically, just being around us, just
seeing what we do, opening up our fridge, seeing what's in the fridge,
eating what we have.
Yep.
Do you think that would change you? I know, even for like people who are in a pretty good spot, you know, but still have things to learn. Like, actually the first person that comes to mind is Lauren Coate. Like, you're doing freaking amazing, right? Like, you're even on our team at this point, right? But there are things, I think, that just we've been very blessed to be exposed to different communities, and then we've made the decisions to insert ourselves in those communities that, you know, not only help us to level up from a health, like a mental health standpoint, but it is like a waterfall, and it splashes on everything else that is around you, right? Like, every area of our life is impacted by a certain mindset and certain things you think and ways that you think and ways that you act and ways that you execute the information that you have or don't will shape you in so many different ways. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it felt like it was good to say.
Yeah. Your environment and basically who you surround yourself with matters. Are you reading comments?
Yeah, it seems like Lauren and Emily are having a conversation. That's great. Emily, Lauren's a great person to chat with. I'm on my way. We just had to pop in here and say, damn, Sarit, those shoulders.
Didn't happen overnight. Didn't happen in 2 weeks. Don't you try to get those in 2 weeks either. You gotta earn that shit. Right? So, you know, the reality is that there's a lot of people in our lives, and whether they're pros or not, who will just keep on giving you advice.
So, can I move in?
Who said that?
No. Where did it go?
Oh, Isella?
Isella? Hello, welcome.
Yeah, so you guys are on the same page. Like, if you were to live with us, you know that, like, your journey will become so much simpler. So what do you think knowing that, what do you think, if you're struggling, would be a better decision for you? To surround yourself around us as much as possible, because, I mean, you know, you have to think about what's in your control and what's outside of your control. I mean, I'd love for all of you guys to move in with us, but unfortunately, we
that
won't.
would be a zoo.
Unfortunately, we don't.
Half a dozen.
Well,
like,
we will put together a retreat at some point, but unfortunately, like, there isn't enough space for you guys. So what is an alternative for that?
A retreat.
Yeah, but baby, that's for a few days out of the year.
But it's still a good idea.
Yeah, we will, and that's why we will do that, because it's a great idea.
Who wants us to have a retreat? Okay, they're gonna answer. Now we can go. Ready? Okay, you go.
So if you want to get better with whatever your quest is, if it's like, you know, fitness, health, weight loss, mental health, do you agree that the more you surround yourself around us, the more successful you will become? Absolutely. Do you agree that the longer you spend time with us, the more successful you will become? Absolutely. That's why people like Lauren Koch, Sarah Novick are really successful, because they're in it for the long haul, right? They don't think about it like an 8-week program or a 12-week program. Programs go in small chunks, but there's always a thing afterwards, right? Like, you can't think about it like the short-term goal. You have to think about it the long haul, right? Because your environment will shape the decisions that you make on a daily basis. It absolutely will. So for me, for example, that's why I've always worked with coaches. Always. I have 2 coaches right now. One is not enough, right? Because I surround myself with positivity and greatness. And this allows me to become greater. Otherwise, because our brain has mastered one thing and one thing only, and it's to retreat, right? And get back to our comfort zone. Left to your own devices, you're going to get back to, like, old habits.
You said retreat.
I know I did. I did for a reason.
But you said retreat.
And that's the importance of surrounding yourself in the right environment. And that's why, Jeanette, like, you've been in our community for almost a year. And I'm so glad, I told you that yesterday when we chatted, that I'm so glad that you finally took the plunge to, like, commit to and, like, actually invested in one of our programs, because you know at this point that the more you invest your time with us, the more successful you will become. That's just a matter of fact, right? So you guys, you have to pay, our brains are like sponges, right? Like it filters in information all day long. Do you ever wonder why, let's say, you know, you've heard a lot of things in the news, let's say last night, and then you wonder why you have bad dreams? That's your subconscious brain picking up on information. And that's why so many people right now are in a bad place, because they're exposing themselves to negative information. You have to be so particular with what you consume. Here, this, what you consume in here is just as important as what you consume here, because this dictates what you do for the rest of your life, right?
How
so
you behave and
so
how
who you listen to? Oh, I tried this thing called keto, it's amazing, I already lost 20 pounds. Yeah, but do you look like you need help? Do you look like you've maintained that weight for 10 years?
Not even a matter of
Just
look like. It's not even a matter of look like. It's do you feel like you still need help?
Yeah. I know, I'm a little harsh. And I don't mean to call that, but like you hear that all the time, and then it's like, my best friend lost 20 pounds, so now I'm gonna do this thing. Yeah, but why are you gonna do this thing? Because you were told that, or did you do your research to make, you know, to make the decision to commit to something? Don't think that it's a 40-day fix or a 2-week blah, blah, blah. No, this is like a long haul. Whoever just started the rise above, you see that afterwards you go to the burn zone. It never ends if you do it right. You just go from one thing to the next to the next.
So back to how to apply what we know. For one, you have to know that the information you're getting is legit. Too legit to quit.
Ooh, do it again.
Too legit to quit. Too legit. Everybody! Too legit.
Oh, wait.
Too legit to quit.
See how I'm such a terrible dancer, like my...
Somebody posted a video of that today. Lauren, come on, I know. She's already on it. She's like, I got my camera set up. But yes, first, know that the information that you're consuming is legit, right? 2, keep yourself in a surrounding environment that will encourage your growth forward, in a forward motion.
Something that I see that happens way too often is somebody who achieved great results and now they decide to go out on their own. That shatters me.
Okay, hold on. That's a completely different topic. I want to
Sorry.
break it down and make it right. We can go off on 19,000 different tangents, but make sure the information is good. Make sure that the surrounding environment that you have supports what goals you are working towards. Those are your first 2 steps. If you're here, I would like to think that you have found somebody whose information is legit. But again, that depends on you and where you're at and where you want to be. If you don't want to be like us, don't follow us. Right? And then the third thing is sorry, I'm going to go back to a 1.5. So first is information is good. 1.5 is, here's the half, is make sure that the people who are giving that information have proven their own success and long-term and success in others long-term. For this topic specifically. Then third, audit your surroundings. Who are you around? Who are you spending time with? What are those people like? What kind of things are you watching on TV? What behaviors do those characters have? Those things will subconsciously shape you.
Yep.
Because you start to compare you to whatever else you see, and if what you see is not where you want to be, then you'll think you're doing good because you're doing better than, whatever you're comparing yourself to. But
I want to add one more thing to that too.
so freaking long.
The reason why a lot of people who even found success achieve mediocre results is because the environment that they were in for most of their life has taught them to think small. So many times I hear you on calls, and let's say, you know, and this is not to call anybody out. Let's say you're on the phone with somebody who has been struggling to lose weight for 10 years and she's currently 200 pounds. So you ask her, like,
This is common. This is not calling anybody out. This is like a lot of people.
Right, and that's why I'm spitting out this number, is because I noticed that I think, you know, the average American female weighs 200 pounds. About that. And you ask her, like, where do you want to get to? Right? Like, you want to understand her story, and she says, well, 175 would be nice.
Undershooting.
I'm like, dude, I can already tell that the environment that you've been in your entire life is so shitty because you're thinking so small right now. And what makes you think that you'll be able to sustainably achieve your goals when you're thinking so small? And that's what I love about Kayla. Like, she knows where she wants to get to, and her goal is aggressive. And you know what? I make sure to push her outside of her comfort zone. I'm like, Kayla, this time next year, you're going to have abs. Like, think about it. A girl who started at 300 pounds will have a six-pack. But you need to be given permission to have a goal so big that keeps you consistent. Do you think that weighing 175 or 180 pounds is exciting?
Maybe. If you're 5'10"?
Right, and look, it's not about the number. I'm just saying, like, normally the shape that comes with 180 pounds it's not the most badass shape, is what I'm trying to say. Is that, like, if you have a mediocre goal, you are going to give up way too soon.
I think a lot of people too, it's not even about, like, part of it is thinking small. And we want to clarify that we don't get to decide where you feel the best.
Right.
That is not up to us. It's not about a number. We don't, 170, 190, 130, 110. We don't, your height, your weight, your build, your whatever.
The weight doesn't matter. You already know that.
Where you feel amazing, great. We don't get to choose that. However, what we do find is that women will undershoot themselves. One, either because they're used to thinking small, or they don't know how to dream big, or they don't believe in themselves.
Yep.
So, and I understand that. I get it. And it's something
that's with everybody. It's meant
Hold
to.
on. It's something that's easier said to get over than done. So I feel you if you lack some kind of hope or belief in your ability to accomplish where you really want to get to, but you really want to get to there. You have to find certain things that give you successes and wins immediately so you can become empowered and motivated and inspired to take the next step. And then you have to get successes. You have to find wins. You have to take small steps. Win, that builds your confidence, and building your confidence builds belief in yourself. When you build the belief in yourself, you then actually think you're capable, and then your actions start aligning with what you know you're capable of, rather than selling yourself short. The problem is that we try to do so many things at one time, we can't follow through with it, then we feel like a failure and something's wrong with us.
And when you feel like a failure, you don't feel empowered. So you don't give yourself permission to think big. And that's why if you've worked with us in our inner circle, we set targets that are based off of where you're at right now. And then we make sure that you master consistency only after we increase your targets. Because so many people, like January 1st, perfect example, and we'll always use that. I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. Like they have a wide set of targets. They never focus on practicing consistency, so they feel like a failure. Guess what? If you feel like a failure, do you think you're going to dream big? Fuck no. Because you don't believe that you're capable. It is proven through your actions that you're earning confidence. Confidence is something that's earned. It's not being given to you, and it doesn't matter what the scale says. The scale, like your weight that you lost is just a byproduct of everything that you did in order to get there. So many people just focus on the wrong things. You need to focus on making sure that your actions are being consistent. It's not about, doing fancy things, getting fancy products. Like, I'm drinking protein coffee, blah, blah, blah. No, that is not helping you to get to your goals. That's just you actually not knowing the foundations of nutrition, so you get wrapped up with all this like food industry bullshit.
What's wrong with protein coffee?
I think the protein coffee is making most people who are health conscious to believe that by drinking it, they're getting ahead with their goals, when for the most part, there is a lot of artificial shit that's being added to it.
So if I put X Endurance in my coffee?
No, I'm saying like a pre-made protein coffee, like the Bang Keto coffee bullshit.
The details.
Yes.
They need the details.
Yes.
We're talking about products that are sold as something that have... Okay, so I wanted to make sure that if you put protein in your coffee, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's bad.
No, I mean like pre-made protein coffee with a lot of added bullshit.
So confidence is also borrowed.
Yes.
You don't get to be confident. Okay, so how many times have you posted something on Instagram, and then when you get a lot of likes, it feels really good? And then you're like, you have this certain amount of confidence, this feel good, this, what is it called? Affirmation?
You get a dopamine hit.
What is it called, though? Like, the stimulus of like people liking things. Whatever. You have more confidence. You have more confidence, right? But that confidence is borrowed by the people. You're borrowing it from the people who have affirmed you, confirmed you, validation. That's the word. Who have validated you. Now we get confidence because I see that there's almost 50 people watching this live. Holy shit, that's awesome. How much more confidence do I have knowing that you're showing up here to hear what I have to say?
Also,
I'm borrowing that confidence from you. Thank you very much.
Also, how do you feel after listening to an episode? Do you feel more empowered, or do you feel like a piece of shit? There's a reason why we do these calls at 6:30 in the morning and not 6:30 in the evening. Because we know that at 6:30 in the evening, you've already had to put out at least 10 fires, right? Our goal is to get you to start the day right, because we know that momentum is everything, right? We're giving you momentum to start your day right. Confidence is borrowed. So do you think you're going to show up for your day better if you listen to this show on a regular basis? Who in here has watched us consistently and has seen an increase in the results over time?
While you're answering that, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And for you. Did you ever play the game Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Where you race the cars and the tracks, and you have like the bananas and the bombs.
Team Yoshi.
Oh my gosh. So, you know those little booster things, right? The little triangles, and you hit it, and it's boom.
Yeah.
Right? You always try to hit those.
Yeah.
I want to be that for you. This show needs to be that for you. You got to hit the booster, baby. Right? Here's my morning. Here's the start of my morning. Here's the little triangles right here. Normally like 3 or 4 of them, right? And they're glowing, right? Green and white, because green means go. Okay, right here, here's your morning, and you're like, okay, espresso with Sarit and Erin's coming. And then you watch it, and, and then your day goes, and you're like, this is awesome. I can crush anything. That's what we want to be for you.
Right. There's a reason why this happens at 6:30 in the morning.
But there's a lot of banana peels out there in the world.
Yep.
And there's a lot of bombs.
And it's going to happen as soon as we hit the close button and you guys get back to your life and we get back to our lives. Check the emails.
You're going to see bananas.
Whatever. So imagine if you were to insert yourself in a positive space, like on a more regular basis. Not just a few times per week, but a few hours each and every day. Do you think you're going to show up for yourself better? Do you think you're going to be able to make better decisions? You guys, weight loss or success in anything in life has everything to do with decision-making skills. Most people give up because their decision-making skills are poor. And it goes back to mindset. You had a bad day, so you think that now you can go and have a piece of brownie. Or you had a bad day and you haven't prepared correctly, so now you're going to choose to eat a burger with fries instead of like a clean meal, right? It's all about the decisions that we make.
Brittany said that her 6-year-old asks her every morning, "Are you watching the morning show?" That's amazing.
Yes. You're being held accountable by your kids. That's guys, amazing. Your kids are such a great accountability tool.
I want to have a show like Ellen DeGeneres. I'm just putting it out there into the universe so that it can pick it up. But Espresso with Erin and Sarit, like the Ellen show, where we give a bunch of shit away and play funny games and just fuck around, but then like inspire and empower at the same time. Oh, epic.
We're headed there.
Okay. So
dream big, baby. This is us dreaming big.
So the bombs are coming your way. The banana peels are coming your way. What else is there? I don't know.
And by the way, it doesn't matter who you are. They're coming at all of us. That's just a part of life, right? So many people are wasting their time hoping, wishing, I wish I was blah, blah, blah. No. Guess what? Whoever is your inspiration has created their life. They didn't just receive it. In order to receive it, like it takes going through a lot of shit to create it. And you can too. But if you don't believe in yourself, you never will. And that's the power of environment. So you have to choose very wisely who it is that you're paying attention to, who it is that you're surrounding yourself with. And that's why most of you guys in the room, if you celebrated Memorial Day weekend, you probably feel like it wasn't, like this Monday wasn't as great as last Monday, because
you can celebrate
right
without like falling off the rocker. But by celebrate, I'm going to translate that you mean with shitty food and too many drinks.
Because your environment, the environment that you were in, right, was suboptimal. Imagine if you were to come celebrate Memorial Day weekend with us, right? Just think about it this way. Your environment shapes who you become. So think big, dream big. Literally, you're only limited to one thing, and it's called what you believe in. Most of you guys are just wrapped up in either believing negative things or believing that you're not capable. And that's why you need to go out of your way to surround yourself with people who will push you to dream bigger. And you need to insert yourself in an environment that helps you to show up more for yourself. If there is a will, there's always a way. So right now there's 45 people in the room. I can guarantee you that you're already pumped up to start your day. But I can guarantee you that each and every one of you are going to have at least 3 shitty things happen to you today.
I see you, Deanna.
Right? And that is why you have to keep on surrounding yourself with us. We have the burn zone at 8. If you're in the inner circle, then guess what? We have Voxer 24/7. And whenever something shitty happens, guess what? Straight, something shitty happened, right? My most successful clients...
How do I get around the...
My most successful clients communicate with me on a daily basis. And that's why I tell everybody when you're in the inner circle program, I don't care how your day went. If it was shitty, if it was great, communicate with me. Because when you're communicating, you're inserting yourself in a positive environment immediately. People who go off rails and start disappearing, I already know that you're going through some shit. And that's why for people in the inner circle, that's just like a coaching, like, what am I saying? Like, I'm just saying it. Like, I call you guys out. Where you been at? Because communication is key. So surround yourself more in an environment that pushes you to be greater bolder, that inspires you, that makes you think big, because our brain has mastered comfort and fear, because this is how we survived for hundreds of thousands of years. So left to your own devices, you're just going to get back into that mode. And that's why we all need community, and that's why we have this show. So, if you found this beneficial, if you know that a lot of your friends and family members are listening to some kind of weird shit and they're struggling every single day, every time you talk to them, you're like, I don't even want to talk to you because you're negative. You're like, I feel like I now just need to put on espresso because you made me so negative and I just want to see Sergeant and see some positivity. Guess what? You need to share with them this video. The beauty of good things that happen in the world is that they're meant to be shared.
We're gonna charge for this video. The cost is sharing it.
The cost is sharing it. That's all it takes. Because guess what? You want to be selfish too. I'm just gonna give you like a quick tip. That guess what? The more people in your environment who watch this show will become more like you. They will become more inspired. They will become more motivated. Do you think you'll want to talk to them and hang out with them more? Do you think that your conversations are going to change? Do you think that the food and drinks on the table are going to change? Absolutely. So you want to do that for yourself, not just for us. Do that for yourself. Be selfish about it. Be like, I want to send this to my mom, to my aunt, to my cousin, to my sister, to all my sisters, because every time I talk to them, they bring me down and they tell me, oh, I gained 5 pounds because of coronavirus, or I gained 20 pounds because of coronavirus, and it's because of blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, the negativity. It's like, stop it.
It's not because that's a blame game. That's not because of coronavirus. Because you didn't know how to deal with you during an unexpected life event.
Right, but how do you think that makes you feel? It brings you down. Are you more likely to make better decisions? Are you more likely to go for that cookie that she then offers you? Yes. Yes, because your environment shapes you and your decision-making skills or process start dwindling down in a negative environment. Environment is everything, you guys. So be selfish about it. Share this show for your own sake so that you can increase your environment.
Emily even lost 30 because of Rona. No, you lost 30 pounds because of you. You don't even pass a success blame. Nothing happened because nothing in your life happened because of something else. Like if your house burned down, heaven forbid, and you don't have control over it, yes, that happened, but it's for a reason. That happened so that something greater could happen.
Coronavirus probably made you think differently about your priorities or what you want out of life, so you acted differently. Can you guys hear Sergeant snoring?
What a ham. What a little piggy. He sleeps like a cow. Wait, I don't know how cows sleep. Anyways,
I think they sleep standing up.
We need to, until you tip them, we need to wrap this up, but we want to thank you guys for being here and for showing up, and express our gratitude to you for that and how much we love you guys. No matter what we say or how passionate we get, we want you to know it comes from a place of love, and we're going to keep showing up every day for you, because Lord knows that you need somebody in your life who is going to lead you the right direction and give you the truth that so many won't, because they'd rather just take your money.
Yep.
I like money too. But if it doesn't help you, it shouldn't take your money.
Yep.
Erin, out.
Thank you guys for choosing to spend time with us and choosing to listen to what we have to say, and to watching us indicates that you're watching it. We love you. We really want the best for you, and that's why a lot of times we have topics that are true, tough love, because we want you to see things differently. We give you permission, because we live in a world where You are being told so often what to do and you're not being given permission. This is a place where you're being given permission to think for yourself. Is this actually the truth that I'm hearing right now? So that you can act accordingly. So you can have a safe community that will support your goals of living a high-performing, elevated lifestyle. Life is too short to live a mediocre life. Way too short. Way too fucking short. If you live 100 years, then you only get to see 36,000 days. That's it. It's that small. Like, if you were like, shit, I have 1,000 days left to live, who would you want to become? How would you want to live? You need to start acting now and just keep all that bullshit away. Let them deal with that. It's not your fucking problem. Your obligation is to live your best life. So we hope that you have an amazing day, and we will see you tomorrow.
Mañana.
At 6:30. Bye,
Bye.
guys.